Hello, everybody, and welcome to What Do You Say Anime? I'm your host, Peter, and on today's episode, we will be reviewing the 2015 first season of Blood Blockade Battlefront. Joining me today first is Johnny.
Everything okay, Johnny?
How you doing today, Johnny?
No, it's not okay. I'm gonna be honest. If I knew the show was like this when I nominated it, I would have never nominated. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We'll have some more. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Making his triumphant return, we have Mr. Hazstick himself. How's it going?
I come back on the worst episodes.
It's true.
I really do.
Haz is back!
Haz
is back! Haz is back!
Griffith did nothing wrong.
Haz is back. And our first moderator of the night, we have Miles. Miles, how's it going?
As Taylor Swift said in her album 1989, because baby, now we've got bad blood. You know, it used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. Because baby, now we have bad blood. And I certainly have bad blood with Blood Blockade Battleworks, but we'll get into that.
Battleworks. That's the second time you've done that.
That's the third time I've done it. I did it to my other group of friends. Blood Blockade Battlefront. I don't. Honestly, this show doesn't deserve for its name to be remembered. So
I agree. And our second moderator of the night is young Patty Mills himself. Pat, how's it going?
It's great. I haven't been watching anime for the past 3 weeks or so. I genuinely, the only thing I've watched is Ruby, and that doesn't even count. I don't know. I've just been on one of those weird kicks where you just don't watch shows and you just can't get into it. I had to watch this show, and I gotta say, probably won't be watching anime ever again. So here we are. This is, I guess, the last episode, for me at least, on the Watch Club. This show was painful, and I'm so excited to talk about it. At least, though, that'll be fun to hang out with my friends again and catch up and shit talk the show. So I can't wait. But yeah, so if we're and obviously we all know our host Pete chilling. Can't see him right now because of the webcam thing, but he's vibing. We're
everybody else can see me, just you guys can't.
Just we can't. I know. It's too bad.
Me and Miles are both rocking pink shirts tonight.
Oh, nice.
Good to know, because again, I wouldn't know.
I'll show you.
Yeah. But perfect. So yeah, just like we normally do, we'll start off with our first impressions. So whether that's how we heard about the show, first couple episodes, entirely spoiler free. We'll talk about what we thought about the first 3 episodes. So, Miles, why don't you kick us off?
So, I thought about how to encapsulate my thoughts about this show, and this is what I came up with. Blood Blockade Battlefront, more like Blood Blockade boring as fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good syntax. I like that.
Yeah. So, this show is terrible. The first 3 episodes were terrible. I would have dropped the show about 5 minutes into the first episode or so. If that even. If I was doing the 3 episode rule, it would have made me change my rule to the 2 episode or the 1 episode rule. I hate this show. I do not recommend anyone watch this show. Don't do it. This show has like an 8.6 or something on Mal. That is incorrect. Don't be deceived by that. The show is terrible.
7.6.
Oh yeah, 7.6. Whatever.
If it was an 8.6, it'd be a fucking crime.
It would. I mean, 7.6 is a crime, but it would be a felony if it was an 8.6.
Like putting it out of the 8.6 is like the equivalent of committing genocide. But
anyways.
It's
all right, that's a bit much.
we
no,
is it? Look. That's a 9.6. Okay, we shouldn't just compare the 8.6 to genocide, but the 9.6 maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so there's Miles' opinion on the show. Yeah, we already got the genocide comments out of the way. Perfect. Good. Haz, what have you got to say? Welcome back.
Yeah. So I have never heard of this show. But I when I watched episode 2, I recognized it from a Twitter clip where someone was like, "This is peak animation." And then I saw it in the context of the show. And you know, I love trash. I really do. And I was going into this just vibing out. And I think when you finish episode 3 and you really just think about what you watched and you have to put it all together. I watched this show for the sake of trying to understand it like 5 times. So like if her flag breaks is a 10, unironically compared to this, and that's all I have to say on that.
Okay, good start. We're off again. See, as you can tell, we this show we're all very excited to talk about this show. I think. Um, Johnny, what have you got to say
Okay.
about the show that you nominated? Yes, well, I
Okay,
will
so
continue to remind you that you nominated
yeah.
this show and made us all watch it, just to make our point very
All right.
clear whose fault this is.
All
Thank you.
right, so in my defense, I knew literally nothing about the show
Also, we
except for the
voted it.
ED. So I like to say a quote that I think Miles said when we were talking about the show before, is that the show's not trash, it's dirt. You can comment on trash. You can pick it apart and see all the disgusting things inside of it. This is dirt. There's nothing to say about it. It's just bland as fuck, nothing to say. And I think that's the perfect representation of what the show's about. It's gonna be hard for me to say anything about this because it's just so fucking bland.
Fair enough. All right, and so I would assume you would not recommend it.
No, I'm sorry for it. I'm sorry I made all 4 of you watch them.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your sorrow.
Apology not accepted.
Yeah, really, it's
Well,
not
you made me watch it for Flag Break, so I think we're even.
10 out of
that.
10 compared to that.
Yeah, that's an almost even comparison, but not quite. Pete, what have you got?
Man, so when I started watching this show, especially if we're gonna give like our brief overview of like the first 3 episodes, 3 different things happened that were not correlated to each other at all in the first 3 episodes. No plot was like set up. I knew nothing about the characters. I didn't know anything about the story. I knew a little bit about the world. That's about it. And then just things happened for no reason. And I remember like messaging you guys. I'm like, so like what's the story of the show? Like nothing has happened so far, especially the beginning of episode 4 where everything in episode 3 was essentially irrelevant to the entire story. I had no idea what was going on, and it continued that way up until literally episode 11 where the story begins. And if you were writing a paper in like high school, you would get an F, and this show gets an F. The show sucks ass. I would recommend it to a 12-year-old who can't read and likes looking at things.
Is that a personal attack?
Yes, I compare it to like if you're a toddler and your parents are like shaking keys above your head and you think it's like cool because you've never seen keys before and it's exciting for like 5 seconds. That's what Blood Blockade Battlefront is.
You gave it a whole 5 seconds, damn.
Wow.
I wasn't there. I laughed twice. The show.
I'm interested which 2 moments made you laugh.
I kept track.
I'm curious to hear about them too. All right, so I guess I'll wrap it up. We're gonna get a 5 straight no's for this. In terms of recommendations, I would not recommend this on anybody unless I was trying to waste their time or make them regret listening to my recommendations. This show to me, again, maybe it came at a bad time in my life when I was distracted by other things and wasn't in my usual anime state of mind. But I'm glad to find out that it wasn't just me who really hated this show. And God, I did not. I didn't enjoy it in any way. There was just like usually with anime, with bad anime, you can sit there and be like, oh well, the plot was really bad or it didn't make any sense, but oh the art was good or the voice acting was good, the music was good, the sound design. There is almost nothing about this show that I can like truly compliment. Like I don't think I've ever sat there and said to myself, the Japanese sub or the voice acting for the Japanese uh the original cast or whatever you want to say was bad. And this is like the first anime I've seen where I've been like, yeah, it was just bad. And that's crazy to me. I've watched so many shows and they've always been at least like decent or not distracting, like just solid. Maybe there's one character that annoys you, but like in general, it's very well done and well composed. This one was like offensively bad to me, and Maybe it was just the show, but I don't know, man. This is I need some good stuff coming up in the next episode of Watch Club. That's for damn sure. Because I would, again, not recommending this. I don't know what to say. I did not enjoy it. I suffered for you guys. So you listeners at home, appreciate the suffering that all of us did for you, because it was not pleasant. But yeah, so why don't we start out? By the way, spoilers going forward for any plot points. Not that there is a plot, but any plot points going forward can be discussed. So if you have not seen the series yet, for one, don't struggle or don't hurt yourself by watching it. But know that going forward, you will be spoiled to anything that could happen later on in the show. But yeah, so now that we got that out of the way, does anyone have anything nice they want to say about the show first? Why don't we start positives before we really get into the
Yeah.
roasting? So yeah,
Good
let's
idea.
let's like what might you have liked about the show? Let's see if we can recover any likes as well.
I
We'll probably
really
get some dislikes.
liked the sound design. I know you mentioned that, but I thought it was good. It had like an interesting sort of like modern soundtrack to it. There were just like I thought like the music and stuff chosen for the scenes fit the mood for those scenes very well.
I think that's fair. That's fair. I
Yeah,
just didn't like it. It wasn't pleasing to me. That's why I was just like, all right, fuck this. And
there
also
were
the
a
other things
few
too.
moments where I was like, wow, like this music's cool, but like, I mean, also it's a tough job because none of these moments are very cool. So like I feel like maybe I over relied on the music to like feel what I was supposed to feel, and that's like why I noticed it so much because I'm normally not a huge sound person. Um, as far as like noticing it, like actively. So, but I really like that. And I liked like in a vacuum some of the characters and their designs. I thought the character designs were pretty good. I liked Beast from X-Men. So I've always been a big fan of Beast from X-Men. So like that was fun. I liked the Queen of Monomania and the King of Depravity. I don't know why, but like those like face, like fucking Count of Monte Cristo bullshit sort of Iron Mask things. I like those. I liked White generally. I thought she was fun, and I couldn't tell if she was going to make me want to kill myself or I would enjoy her when she was introduced at the end of episode 2 or whatever. But I ended up enjoying her. I thought she was fun. And I want to say specifically, there is one bit in episode 5, which I think is the best episode of this show. But there's one particular bit which I think is just like really, really, really well crafted. So at the beginning of episode 5, Leonardo is in the room with White, and she's upset about something, but she's not telling him what it is, because they're teenagers or whatever. And so he's like worried about that. You can see him like putting his like hand on his chin on his like fist and like asking her like to tell him or whatever. It cuts to him watching a movie, thinking about the same thing. The movie has like a parallel scene, and like he hasn't moved from that spot. Like the scene moves around him, and so you can see that it's like night now, and he's like still thinking about that. And then he moves around some, and then it cuts to him in the same frame, and he's with Zap, and he's like asking him about like how women work or whatever. And so it's like the next morning, and you can see that he's like still thinking about it. So I thought that was a neat way to show that he liked her. And the transitions were really cool, because they went from like scene to scene really jumpy like they normally do, but all of these scenes were connected to each other by the pose the main character was in and by the point of the scene, which is something that every other scene that they jump to like this is lacking. But I remember thinking like, wow, that was done like really well. That's neat. And then nothing even comes close to that going forward.
Couldn't
Yeah.
agree more with you.
That's-
I had a positive, two positives. One is just to build
wow.
off.
That's
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's more than one.
Wow.
I liked
I knew that was coming.
I like White before the episodes. So everything before then, because last 2 episodes are the last 2 episodes. And I thought from a design perspective and the one personality trait that Chain has, which is the female in the suit, and her one personality trait is that she doesn't like sap and she steps on him. And I like felt that in my veins. So she is like really cool to me. And she like doesn't offend me with her presence because it's not very known. So I'm like, I appreciate, the courtesy to just like look good in the background. Happy International Women's Day, by the way. Um,
Happy
A
International
horrible
Women's Day. Step on me,
horrible anime to
please.
represent this.
yeah. So yeah, I thought Chain looked cool, and she doesn't like sap, and I don't like sap, so
Cool. So that was a positive somehow.
Yeah.
It's funny how even when we're complimenting the show, it can come off as like a not necessarily like the nicest compliment. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't always sound like we're saying great things about it. Johnny, did you have anything that you really liked about
Well,
the show
so like the
other
thing
than
is,
the ED? Other than the
well,
ED.
so, yeah, like I'm with Miles on like that. How I think the music is fine. Like I don't think it's bad. And also I think the animation, because it's Bones. Like it can't really be that bad. The animation, like I don't know if you said you had something wrong with it. I didn't think it was bad. I think
I
the
had
character
issues with the animation.
I didn't. I
did.
just didn't find it appealing
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. So
I
like
know. I think Bones is overrated, anyways. But we can talk about that another
ooh.
time.
I
Yeah, that's
like
a hot
I
take. That's a hot
it's just
take. I
like
know.
it's not
So
bad. It's like just average, I guess. 'Cause, like
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it.
that's fair. But to me, that's
Yeah.
something wrong with it if it doesn't wow me
I feel like
personally.
the characters at least look cool. Like if you look at them, you'll know who's who. But then like besides that, I don't know what to say. I guess white and black, they're like kind of interesting, except for the fact that at the end they just like it's just so stupid. But yeah, like beyond that, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. It's bad.
Okay, we're
Well,
talking about the good stuff.
it's bad. It's bad.
Well, the rest of the show's bad, but that's the good stuff. I said the good stuff.
Yeah, the good
Oh,
stuff
the
is he
good
liked White's character for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Um,
Pete, what have you
She
got?
had a total
Anything
of 10
nice?
minutes of screen time, so
Yeah.
That's bad.
To talk about like the animation, when I guess I had expectation going into it because this was Bones. So prior to Mob Psycho, they did this. So I was thinking something similar to the lines of Mob Psycho, which has incredible animation, incredible like director work, and everything like that. And this was like a huge step down. And the difference between this and Mob Psycho is like 2 years. So I wouldn't expect it to be that drastic of a decrease in terms of animation, but it really was. So in terms of like overall animation, it was fine, but it was bad for Bones, if that makes any sense. Love the music. There was like, especially episode 5, I think we might have a consensus that that was probably the only good episode maybe of the show. We got some like Bakano vibes while they're like doing like some cool like smooth jazz while they're doing like these fight scenes. I'm like, this reminds me of Bakano, which was super fun. And right now we're having a lot of fun with this episode. I'm like, why can't every episode be like episode 5? So good things to take away. Okay, animation. Episode 5 was fun.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
again, that's all you got. Yep. Again, for me, I just or so. Yeah, like so I should clarify that when I say that, like I thought things were bad, I guess that just means that I thought that they weren't really good, and like that's what I expect out of most of these things. Like voice acting, again, it's not like the voice. Well, again, the voice acting to me was bad because when it's compared to like such a high standard that it seems like anime usually has, to me it was like noticeably bad, worse compared to those. Uh, Animation wise, again, all I've ever heard is how great Bones is and how awesome they are, and this was them not being awesome and great. So that's why maybe it stood out to me more. Maybe that's why I had more of a problem with it. But the character design was cool. I will give them that. They Miles made the X-Men joke earlier, but that character actually is it's an okay design. You know, I think it's cool. He's a big burly guy. Um, and then outside of that, yeah, I really don't have much positive to say about this show because I don't know, man. I'm glad I didn't like Miles. You were saying earlier, like, oh, like you poor thing, you had to watch this all in one day. I'm glad I did because now it means I'm not thinking about it and not stressing about it anymore. You know, like it's just gone. It happened and it was a fever dream and it's done. And that's the way I look at it. But yeah, I don't know. What would I guess it's time to move on from things we liked about it, really, unless we have anything else. Don't think we do. Uh,
Nope.
what was the Nope. What was your guys' biggest complaint then? Like so we've been sitting here shit talking it, like making like jokes about it being bad, but what would you say is your biggest gripe with the show? I guess we can just start with
Biggest gripe.
Miles. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
this
so
is a good one.
What like viscerally offended you to the point where
So
you wanted to drop the
I
show?
actually had to think about this pretty hard because I think the easy answer is that the show doesn't really have a plot, right? But then I thought about like other shows that I like that are like episodic in nature. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Sailor Moon doesn't have a plot season to season until essentially like the last several episodes. There are plenty of episodic shows that I enjoy. And so what I think is the worst thing about this show is and this might be shocking to some people because I don't know. I think it's probably what people like about it, and it just made me want to die. Is the world building? The world building in this show is the worst world building in anything I've ever seen in my entire life. We know nothing about this organization they're in. We know nothing more than they vaguely defend this city. We don't even really know what they defend the city from. We just know that random shit happens every week and that they like protect the city from that sometimes by killing hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
There is like no continuity in the world episode to episode. And it's not even like an episodic thing. It's like if the diner explodes, the diner's fine in the next episode. Like you can have an episodic show and like have that still happen. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the How I Met Your Mother is episodic, but Ted has the same girlfriend from episode like 2 to 3. You know what I mean? Like if he's unless they broke up and it doesn't pay attention to like any of these things. We learn nothing about the characters. They bring up tons of situations that are just completely dropped. Like the vampires are supposed to be like the largest threat to humanity. They like barely show up again afterwards. They were supposed to do a sting or whatever for that drug deal. And then that never gets brought up. They like play that entire stupid chess game about it. I don't know anything about how this world works or why it works other than LOL random crazy zany extra stuff. Like the world is just so extra and I hate it.
Can I bounce off Miles real quick because of
Yeah, please
especially
do.
the world building of the organization? I think it starts in episode 2 or episode 3 where we get some info dumped throughout the rest of the episodes before the OP starts, where it's like, this is Libra, a secret organization, and Helm Salem, whatever New York City is called now.
Hell Salem's Lot.
Hell Salem's Lot. They are a secret society that consistently is like breaking the law. They are very polarizing characters throughout the entire city. They kill all the time, whether it's bad people, civilians, it doesn't matter. There's just chaos everywhere. So it's like this secret organization is like essentially running a parade down like Broadway Street every episode. Like, hey, look at us. We're this secret organization. It's like it's kind of defeating the purpose.
Like, how are we so secret? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
it's like they want to be Illuminati, but they're out there like I don't know, maybe I don't know. So they're out there on the streets like fucking like Black Lives Matter or something, where it's like they're a public organization. They're very much so in the front, like, and not in their actions. I realized that may.
Yeah,
No,
and
but
then
I understand what you're saying. Like they're active. They're not like pulling the strings from behind the scenes. They're
they're not like Men in Black where like
vegans they go to protest at
Men in Black is a great one. Yeah, that's great.
Like that's what I thought this show was going to be. Like, oh, it's like, oh, cool. Like, is this Men in Black the anime? Because that would be dope as fuck. But it's like they're not secret. And then, how they bring up characters in their organization that we don't know about we had a conversation if a character existed in their show because he shows up in like episode 1 or 2. He has like bandages around his face, and then we see him again in a montage for 1 second in episode 12. So this dude
he's in episode 7.
Is he in episode 7? Okay,
Yeah,
we
one
don't.
of them.
He's a
Yeah.
driver.
Yeah,
but you barely see it. I mean, I
He's
don't
a
blame you for
fucking
missing him.
yes.
Maybe 40 seconds. Of screen time.
It's him. It's Leo getting introduced to Libra on episode 1, and then he's just on the team. He's never like formally introduced to the team. He's just on the team, episode 2. And then the fish dude's just randomly on the team, like episode 9. Like, who the fuck is this fish guy?
I thought it was a bug, like a praying mantis type of thing.
Oh, I thought it was a fish.
They mentioned something about eating sushi, and then like
he's a fish. They attempt to haze him by taking him to a seafood shop, and then he tells them that fish eat other fish.
Okay,
So
they
this
do.
isn't gonna work.
Yeah, but the biggest thing that was my problem with the show was the fact that episodes 1 through 8 meant literally nothing to the show. Then they did a background thing of the two of black and white, and then the story starts episode 11. That was the biggest problem. If you, I don't care if you find the show enjoyable, it still sucks balls. Like if you wrote a paper on, like if this was like a school written paper, and you hand it in to your teacher, she's giving you an F because the prologue starts episode 11.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, it'd be like if you wrote a fucking like 6-page paper on something, and the first 5 pages were like your introduction, but not even relevant. Like not your teacher would be writing not relevant next to every paragraph that was put out there, rather than you'd get an F because your paper was dog shit.
And for the people who say that more of the plot and the story develops in season 2, if you hand in a paper and you tell your teacher, don't worry, the second paper is going to be better, you're still getting an F on that first paper. It does not matter. So yeah, the story sucks ass.
I just don't think it even fleshes out the world, which is the main problem, because it doesn't need to revolve around a central plot that is not necessary for a show to be good or enjoyable, but it needs to flesh out the world and make us like care about the characters in the world, and it just doesn't do any of that. Completely random things happen.
Or like, what's the threat? Like we're exposed. Like, is it vampires? It's not vampires. Like, is it other aliens? Maybe. Oh wait, just kidding. No, it's not. It's like we don't know.
The King of Depravity?
We don't know.
It is in episode 1, and it really isn't.
Yeah, we don't know what they're fighting for, who they're fighting for, because they're not fighting for the people in New York. That's for damn sure.
In episode 6, they're fighting against racism.
That's true.
That is.
So you really hate this show? Does that mean you like racism? We got put that.
Actually, that's confirmed. If you like this show, you are pro-Trump.
No.
I also a tidbit about them like being essentially domestic terrorists. And I only thought of this just now, which is very funny, is that they're not just terrorists in Hell Salem's Lot. Libra is supposed to be like outside of Hell Salem's Lot too. Like there's this giant organization. And the first thing every time we see someone come in from outside the city, they are committing a heinous crime. So the fishman crashes the plane into a building. Then there's another guy who comes in from like New Jersey. And his whole thing is that like he pretty much he was the only survivor on the plane. Like there was a fucking crash because every time he's around, people just fucking die. He walks in, 3 rockets get launched, a building collapses, and the people next to him get hit by a car. They're killing everyone. Fuck Hell Salem's Lot. They're international.
Yeah. All right. I don't know, man. Where do we even go from here? Like, what do we even talk about
I can tell you what my biggest gripe is, I guess.
Oh, yeah, please go
it's
ahead.
Not actually the plot. So my biggest gripe with this show is actually one of the few things that I liked about it, which is White. White's character offends me in so many ways because they don't know what she is, like episode to episode, frame to frame, minute to minute. And we were discussing about a scene in episode 4 where they're fighting vampires. And the thing about this show that Miles brought to my attention is that it's so bad that any clever construction to storytell something is hard to digest as being clever and not just coincidence. So in the first episode or the end of the second episode, you meet White. And Leo takes a picture of White to confirm that, she's a person, not a ghost. Leo has the eyes of God, which allow him to see things that aren't there. We also learned that he can see things that aren't there through phones. So that picture was completely useless. In episode 1, we learned that Black has suspicions about it. And this is all going to tie together later. It all happens in like 3-second clips, by the way. This is not like big things. Like they waste like maybe a minute of your time with like the major plot points. And then in episode 4, after the fight with the vampires, where we see for the first time that Leo can see vampires through a phone when other people cannot. So therefore, any like videography or like photography, it doesn't matter to like whether or not you can confirm someone is a ghost or like a vampire or something. It then cuts to Black and White in the cemetery where Leo meets White in episode 2. And White is holding a picture. And it is implied through the dialogue, through the 3 lines of dialogue in that scene, that picture is supposed to be the picture that Leo took of her. First off, it's a different photo entirely. Secondly, the picture's empty, therefore confirming she's a ghost. And then in the next episode, she's talking to hospital staff and everyone like she's not invisible.
So the issue is that they're 2 different pictures. And so my theory on this is that everything you just said about all of those clues and all of the juxtaposition was just a coincidence.
So see, this is the problem, right? Because you're saying that because it's bad, but I'm saying it's so bad that even when it builds up this point, they fuck up the photo.
It's
therefore
possible. People see her. So either the teams that were making these episodes didn't have because White is an anime only character, right? She is not in the manga. They do not have source material to go off of this.
Really?
Yes, as is Black. Yeah, they're like the main. Yeah. So what we know is that White died 3 years prior to these events. However, a magical ley line was put in place of her heart in order to anchor her to reality and use her body as a beacon or something for this magical barrier that I guess technically helps protect Hell Salem's Lot. It does a shit job, but it's there. And everyone was really worried when it went down. So, perhaps it would be a much worse place without it. And so what we know is that she was dead. She said she was a ghost. He took a picture to confirm she wasn't a ghost, but it would do no job of confirming because we know he can see vampires through phones and normal humans can't. And we know she was looking at a blank photo and her brother asked if he took it, but it was a different location than the one she was at. But then also people interact with her. They hide pillows under her mattress when they sneak out to go to the movie. She does so many things that make me think she is a tangible human being.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not good. I completely understand why you think that, but it would be so crazy to me that they made this point and then just didn't. It's not like they fucked up once. It's like the entirety of the show just fails to acknowledge this point if it's being made. And I mean, on one hand, I believe it, but wow.
Also, give me one.
Yeah,
here, because so if she was dead, the hospital just allows Leo to just come and chill in a random room where there's nobody there for any time he wants. He's literally just hanging. There's episodes where they're just chilling with White in the hospital room. It's if she was dead, that's just like a, I don't know. That just seems really dumb to me. Like really bad, like story writing. If she is in fact dead, which she is, which is why the show is bad.
Yeah.
The
Also, like,
biggest
can I
problem-
just? Sorry, go on, Hans.
I was just gonna say the biggest problem with the show is like all of these are completely valid because this show is dog shit. They could have messed up at any of these points, right? One of these, this is just mistakes at different points,
Yeah.
and to the point of like, because I don't want to disacknowledge this because this is a big point that was made in Discord. Is that the photo is of where her brother died. The issue with that is that he doesn't know that why would Leo take a picture of a reformed spot where her brother died without knowing that her brother died there or like got possessed by this demon? And why would it matter years after when it's pretty much like what is it? Just a graveyard at that point, right? That's what it took a picture of like some overarching points. There's nothing in that picture of significance. It doesn't even look like the destroyed city where he got possessed. You know what I mean? So I don't. Even then, that's still fucking stupid. That is still fucking stupid.
Yeah. So Has your take is so hot that the NYFD decided to come over and try and put it out a little bit, I guess. So, but nothing can keep you down. Nothing can keep you down, and you got your point
Up the show.
out there. Yeah, yeah.
Fuck
The
bro.
show gets us down, but that's another thing.
Yeah.
Johnny, what was your biggest gripe that maybe we haven't addressed yet, or what was your biggest? Yeah. So what was your biggest gripe that we haven't already talked about?
So like a lot of the issues have already been talked about, and like it's really hard for me to think about one, to be honest. Because like I'm with Miles and has like the plot is non-existent. I think a problem that I have that maybe you guys don't have is like they never explain how any of the powers work. It's like cool, like they can like control their blood. Okay, how? Like, do they learn this? Do they just have it? Like, how does this work? Is there a limit? Like, is there a way to counter this? Like, they don't explain anything in the entire show at all. You're just expected to like believe what's in front of you. Like,
Because they explain the casters, which is White and Black's mom and dad. They because like Black has like these like telekinesis like from the new world powers that we saw before, and White doesn't. Those powers are explained. The blood aspects of it are never explained. Like
yeah,
how are they controlling the blood? Is like essentially
also like from what I've seen, like the chief or whatever, like he sometimes he doesn't even use his powers. He just fucking punches people and it just kills them instantly. Like,
yeah, he's Beast from X-Men.
Yeah, like the fuck is he on steroids? Like,
yes.
Yeah, that's so crazy too, because he just punches people so well. But like,
yeah,
I don't think he's supposed to like be able to. Like, why can he? Is it part of his blood technique?
yeah, like he's just a normal human. Why is he going toe to toe against like the fucking demon lord or whatever? Like holy shit, just literally a whole episode where he literally just goes to an underground like illegal like wrestling match or whatever, and he literally punches this guy so hard his fucking brains explode. Like,
God, and I hated how none of those fights were actual fights. He just one hit them all.
yeah, like this guy's fucking One Punch Man if he ate the beast. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like the same thing you said. Like, they don't explain anything. Like, they don't explain like any of the things that like the bad guys or whatever you say are doing either. Like, just once like the truck scene where like eating humans or whatever. It's like, okay, so apparently like these other beings eat humans. So how
So
are they living?
she is doing that to get the attention of someone in Libra who she has like a crush on.
No,
I
I'm talking about the episode where like Leo gets kidnapped by
But
like
yeah, that's the monster truck where the Queen of Monomania is in there.
no, not the monster truck. I'm saying like the van that like they. It's like where like I think it's like episode 2 or
I think it's
something,
episode 2. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
where
the,
like they're
spider
like
van?
transporting humans. or
Yeah, the
whatever.
show is so forgettable. I also
Yeah,
forgot
but-
Miles for a second.
Yeah, so like they never explained that afterwards. So apparently these like aliens or alter world beings or whatever, they eat people. So how are they coexisting? Like,
They don't coexist well. We know this through how the show, like when they're on the subway and they're going to that bad part of town, and it says that the current survival rate is like 12%, like it was saying the weather or something. Like that's probably my least favorite scene in anime, or movies or books or my life or anything. Just because, like, why would you go there? Why would anyone go there? They go and they're in a bar. There are like 100 people in that bar. Like, are you gonna are just like 88 of those people gonna die? Is that the case? Like, we didn't see anyone die there. No one's just like randomly getting offed or anything. 12%? That's so low. And then he's talking about the blood vampire things. I forget what they're called.
Blood vampires.
The vampires. Whatever the
vampires, yeah.
And everyone in that bar, in this area of town that has a 12% survival rate for visitors or whatever, is like, holy shit, these vampires? And then the vampires aren't in that area of town. They're in their normal area of town. And then the beast guy one punches both of them. After, I guess he had to learn some technique to kill one of them, but he also didn't need to learn that technique to kill the other one. He just like smushes him. So why? Why could he kill one vampire but not the other one? It was like she an eldest and he not. I don't know if they explained that.
He had the power of God and anime on his side.
Yeah, he can't even see them. That's another thing. Like, we know he can't see them. We know no one besides Leo can see them.
He was just able to predict their location based on the fucking sound waves in the area or something. I don't know.
Well, it's pretty obvious Miles has never seen the end of Twilight, because if he did see the end of Twilight, you would know how the vampire power structure works, Miles. Hello?
Okay, so, like, I know that
you're falling on deaf ears.
Sorry, I wanted to get laid in high school, so I watched Twilight.
You should have read it, you coward.
I did. I read New Moon.
Were you
dodging the question?
Oh, Team Edward all day, baby.
Oh, no, you're a fucking coward.
Team Edward, baby.
We lost Taz.
We lost Taz.
That is tragic.
He's back. There he is. Has his back. Has his back, baby. But hold on though. We can't just fucking we can't just gloss over this. Hold on. So wait, was Twilight brand new when you guys were in high school? Is that when it was coming out?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
You could date me. Not like literally date, but like, pinpoint how old I was.
Yeah, no, because like Hunger Games was brand new when I was in like middle school. So like I can picture. I remember when everyone was reading that and shit like that. But wow, Twilight's that old. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And did it get me laid? Yes, it did.
Thank you for answering that again. I thought you were ignoring me.
What are we talking about again?
Twilight.
We're talking about Twilight.
Which
is
the show that we watched this week than this, honestly. Like, unironically.
I never read
Twilight is better. I never read Twilight, but I've seen the movies, and it's better.
I've never
seen
the movie.
I
believe you.
I like the part where Jacob knows that Edward can read his mind, so he starts thinking about fucking Bella. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's why Team Edward, baby.
Miles liking that scene is so on brand and on character. I love it. It's so perfect. Because Miles consistently does that. He consistently, thinks about fucking other characters so that way we can then, feel bad about it. But yeah, go ahead. Continue.
What were we talking about? What about the show?
I don't
know. Vampire power structures. I would have understood vampire power structures had I paid more attention in Eclipse Part 2.
Clearly.
So yeah, I don't know. Is it just the older they are, or they have power? Okay. Wow. So it's the same as every other vampire power structure.
Correct.
You could have literally just said like Interview with a Vampire or True Blood or fucking Dracula.
Miles,
like, I don't
it's
know.
called connecting with the audience. You gotta get those Twilight references in while it's still like,
Our audience watches Twilight?
It's
oh yeah. We're like 56% female. Of course our audience watches Twilight. Come on,
they
man.
also watch True Blood.
I don't get laid enough to know what females think.
True.
So,
happy International Women's Day again.
Yes, happy International Women's Day.
What show are we talking about again? Fuck me, man.
Twilight.
Twilight.
about
We're now a
Twilight.
Twilight
so yeah.
podcast.
So my biggest gripe. No,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kidding. Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
No, if you have it, we need to move this along at some
We
point.
do. We do. This is
Twilight
terrible.
Twitter is my favorite Twitter.
This is terrible. Yeah, but so yeah, my biggest gripe with Twilight was this is the hardest. I think this is the hardest we've broken. I don't think we've ever.
No, I mean no.
Oh.
That's just
Oh.
That was so funny. Like I thought you were gonna make a point about this godforsaken show. Talking about Twilight.
Oh shit.
Oh, I'm dead.
Oh fuck.
Oh.
Go on.
No, okay, so actually with this show, like I talked about in my beginning bit, I just didn't find anything interesting about it. Like even if it like we joke like, oh, there's no plot, there's no thing, which is true, but like even with shows without plot or without like with episodic focused stories like Princess Principal or Cowboy Bebop, other shows that we've talked about or that are famous among anime, like those, they do it properly where they at least have something compelling to them. This show is just so fucking boring, bro. Like I was so zoned out while watching it, and I again, maybe that's because you guys I watched it later than everyone else did, or at least I started watching it later, and everyone was just in the pre-show talking or like throughout the past week or two has been saying, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this? And maybe that turned me off onto it a little bit or gave me a bad first impression, but I could not get invested. Like even with If Her Flag Breaks, I got a little bit invested. With Handshakers, I was like, oh well, I like I like this character. I find this character interesting. Like with this show, I was so freaking bored the entire time. I cannot believe it. Like I've never dropped a show before, but this is pretty damn close to being the first because it was a trudge to get through every episode. Like again, I could not be bothered to really be looking at my screen during like 60% of the episodes because I was just so freaking bored. It didn't.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I don't know,
The issue isn't, again, I want to drive this home. The issue is not that it's episodic. The issue is that there is no structure to it at all. It's not that it has an episodic, enclosed, like capsulated structure. It is that there is no structure. It is a wreck. It is a mess. It is a 12-car pileup on the fucking highway in a blizzard when gravity no longer works. It is a disaster. Wow. And it's just so the way that it just cuts from scene to scene with no explanation of what's happening. We said this before. We had an argument if a character existed. He's supposed to be one of the
happening.
characters of the group. We had arguments over if one of the major characters was able to be seen or not. And it's not like we don't know what the intent behind this was. Like, I don't know what any of the intent behind this was. I hate this show. I hate the chess episode. I hate the boxing episode. I hate all of it. The chess episode makes me so fucking mad. Oh my god. They're like, oh, it's the most complex game in the world, and we're going to show this because they're like spheres popping up. They never interact with these spheres. Their pieces only ever move one space forward at a time. And then when it's like, oh, the best human in the world at this game couldn't last 9 hours. He only lasted 8 hours and 58 minutes against me. And if you want to save his life, you'll have to last, what, also 9 hours? 10 hours? 24 hours? No, 99 hours. You have to, who would say yes to that? That's so dumb. And then he wins, or he doesn't win, he doesn't lose for 99 hours. How bad does a game need to be designed if you can stalemate for 99 hours? That sounds terrible.
Pretty
oh my
fucking
god, can you
bad.
imagine if you were just
It's
playing...
a filibuster. It's a filibuster on a chessboard.
If you were just playing Uno for 99 hours, like, people would stop playing Uno. They'd be like, wow, it's so weird that this game doesn't end. Let's never play this game again.
It's kind of like what happens with Risk. You just play it and then it just...
Risk takes like maybe 6 hours, though, which is a long time.
It's a long time.
Like, I play board games that take like 10 hours at a time, and I love those board games, but
Mhm.
my God, like the game, at least you know that it's going to end. Like
This is
99
more like
hours.
going on an Odyssey. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
It's like I don't even know what it's like.
The
I-
game was presented with no way to win. It was like the first thing is like you're not gonna win in 99 hours. You're just gonna play for 99 hours. He essentially like it was like I don't know. I guess the best parallel would be like imagine you were playing like a idle game, but you had to click. There was no like passive income. Like you just played a venture capitalist and tapped for 99 hours.
Yeah.
Cookie
Oh,
clicker forever.
God.
Yeah, that's essentially what that game was because they only ever moved. What
And
like,
they don't explain the rules to us. And
No.
the longer it goes on, the more complex it gets, but they don't interact with any of the complexity that's added to it. The fact that one of the boards that got added was a sphere made me so mad because I knew what they were thinking. They were just like, this will just show how hard this game is because one of the boards isn't a board, it's a sphere. And it's like,
Whoa!
the pieces can't fit on that, and also that doesn't make it any more complicated. It makes it less convenient, I guess, in the sense that like you can loop on the board. That is added complexity. So if you want to do that, what you do is you just look at the board and you say if you go two spaces down from the bottom, but there's only one space at the bottom, you go to the first space at the top, and we're able to put that together. So you don't need to make the board a sphere, and so you can allow your pieces to be on the board. Also, like the board game was so intense, they were just like bleeding. I thought that the guy came out all like desiccated because he made a promise that he would like give up his life if he couldn't last 9 hours in the board game. But apparently, he literally just didn't have the stamina to last 9 hours in the board game. I don't know if it would have made more sense if it was like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Shadow Realm kind of thing, but there wasn't really any hint of that. I guess there's kind of a hint of that. They
Kind
go to
of
some
is
world,
a hint,
There was,
yeah.
like,
but
in a
they don't.
time-
Do they ever establish that
Yeah.
being in that world is draining for humans, or do they just go there?
No.
They just go
Okay.
there.
They
It's
just
like
go there.
it's like a portal or something they walk through
I-
and play.
I would assume from all of the clocks, like it's just like a hyperbolic time chamber because like they said 99 hours, but they were still done by the same day. Like they weren't.
Oh,
waiting
you're
for
right.
that.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a thought. How
Yeah,
does
that
it-
was
How
does
do
he
those
not, like,
people
how
just
does-
stand there, like during the game, like for
Yeah.
99 hours?
Are you
No,
just
it's not
watching for
Thing, like
5
it's a
hours
time
straight?
chamber. Like it goes 99 hours. in
Oh,
there,
okay.
and then it doesn't go 99 hours outside.
Do we know that happened?
No,
say
but I'm
that?
gonna like try my best. You know what? Fuck that. You know what? They stood out there for 99 hours. Fuck this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny?
No. I was just gonna say, like, if he played for 99 hours, how the fuck did he not like go to the bathroom at all during 99 fucking hours? Or I guess
Or
maybe
pass out from
He pissed
exhaustion.
his pants.
he's just
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just
his
beast.
nose starts bleeding.
He's beast. He just holds it in for 99 hours. What can I
He just
say? Like,
Eric Cartman'd it, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. They do show in the show
fuck
that
it.
peeing your pants is an option.
I forgot about that. This is another, like, the guy pisses himself. His partner's like, oh my God, he pissed himself so much that I have a gas mask in my car. I'm going to put that on. And then he puts it on. Like, one, urine doesn't smell that bad. Okay? It
Well,
just
speak for
doesn't.
yourself, bro.
And
Wow, you're eating
hold on
asparagus.
a fucking
you know,
second.
you
yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Drink
Maybe
more
it
water,
does.
motherfucker.
We have to
Whatever.
put for the reference that Miles's profession is he is a janitor, so he is used to the smell of urine.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I
One
don't
of
know.
these
I'm
things that you
sorry,
don't know about
urinate.
me might be, yeah.
Yeah.
I have
But
a
like,
feet fetish.
and then like that gas mask saves his day, so he learns that this mushroom person causes amnesia for everyone, and including himself.
The sperm
But
just
wait a
showed it,
minute.
like,
That's another thing that makes no sense because the mushroom doesn't forget the first time that happens. He doesn't like forget the incidents coming up to it, but the second time he releases the spores out, he does forget the incident.
maybe he just has a
forget-
tolerance. I
just-
don't know.
No, he forgets. It's just a different amount of time. So in the first time it happens, he forgets that he committed a crime, and in the second time he forgets his existence of a
It's
relationship.
13 hours. I mean, so the first time they spent like days collecting cheeseburgers. This is the episode. They collect cheeseburgers and eat them. So then he gets his ass beat, and then they forget 13 hours from before. So he forgets that he got like beat up, but he still remembers getting cheeseburgers with Leo. And then the second time he forgets, I don't know, 4 months? Who knows? It doesn't really matter because time is irrelevant.
2 weeks. They talk about it.
Oh, okay, 2 weeks. It's just like it doesn't matter. Like the episode's about eating cheeseburgers.
Well, I thought Leo was going to forget everything that happened to him because I had no idea what the time frame for the show was.
Didn't he forget everything about the mushroom?
No, but he still knew like white and stuff. Like I didn't. If you had told me on episode 6 it had been 2 weeks since he joined Libra, I would have believed you.
I mean, they don't tell us. We're just gonna assume that like it's like the show doesn't tell us anything, so we don't fucking know. For all we know, it could be 7 years. Like,
You know what? There's a good thing about this show. There's one good thing about this show, and it's not actually a good thing, but I find it fun. I just find it, and we talked about it earlier. I just find it fun that Libra is a horrible organization who actually does more crime than the 13 Kings that are presented as the antagonist.
it doesn't Zap like, okay, maybe not hookers, but like,
Yeah, I mean,
no, they are hookers.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby.
There isn't anything wrong with that. But like,
Yeah,
I have another issue with Zap, and it's that you have Zap's longest day ever, and you think you're gonna get the Zap character arc, and the Zap character arc is that Zap's really horny, and like,
and he gets fat for like one episode, and then the next episode he's perfectly normal.
Yeah, and then it's so like the scene where they're with like the vampire egg, and he needs to like, hey Taco, how's it going, bud?
It's his first appearance on the podcast. I think.
Know. Look at him. He was here like a long time ago because he was stuck in this room because he had surgery. But that
Rest
was
in
like
peace, Taco's balls.
Like 8 months ago. Well, that was
yeah. I didn't want to say it, but that's
what it was. So how did he get in here? The door's closed.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's just like the show. Better.
It's just like the show, baby. It doesn't matter.
This is more interesting than the show.
I
Actually,
could really use the eyes of God. So
maybe he has a power gun in anime.
So like the chain fakes a conversation on the phone about how her friend wants to fuck Zap. Zap becomes Goku for a second and like does things super well, like superhuman, and then. And, oh God, I hate this. They have the joke where he like takes the phone and it's the dial tone. God, it's so bad. And like, haha, like she wasn't on the line. We all knew that was going to happen, but like, there's the joke and the payoff. But then they're like, what if we doubled down on this joke? And then Zap's like, no reason to be shy, baby. Like you can tug in and does the dial tone thing again. It's like, are you stupid, Zap? Are you just really dumb?
He's dense. Yeah.
Oh God, it's not dense. It's stupid.
He also like immediately. So that happens, and then that transitions to Zap's Longest Day Part 2, where they have where after like offending you with that joke,
Zap isn't in that episode.
He is in that episode.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah. But the moment he's in it, like, really offends me because, we're talking about how like this show doesn't explain shit. But for some reason, they decided to start that episode with an explanation about why humans can't like split their elemental types with blood power. So
what?
Yeah, so there's like a very small conversation when the new fish guy is flying in on a plane and about to crash into New York City, between Zap and his master, and essentially his master is like bitching him. And Zap's like, that's not fair because like we're humans, so we can't split our wind and fire element and use both of those at the same time with our blood formations the same way that you can. And I think like he could use like 4. And this is like an entire conversation with no point because we don't know what the fuck they're talking about anyway. And I just wasted like 2 minutes of my time away from whatever happens. And then like super cut to them in the building and then Superman crashing and then super cut to Fishman and Zap fighting and fuck this show.
Speaking of like them doing more bad than good, they know that tentacles will come out of the sea and destroy all planes if they fly into it. And they're just like, fuck it, we're going to 9/11 this shit. And they do it. They just crash a plane into New York City. I'm like, wow, you guys are, if this was like anime only, I feel like that would have been a good part to not like put into the anime. That's just me.
It's a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
I don't want to remember that. time.
No, neither do I. It's my first memory as a child is watching the TV and wondering why everyone was crying. Isn't that a great thing? Great first memory or your oldest memory that I have. It's great. It's fucking fantastic. All right, moving on. I'm so fucking done with this show. Let's get on to best boy / girl. Although the cat, I don't know. I have one character that I like, and that's it. So I'll do that. But if you guys want to do a best boy and girl, then go ahead. Miles, what have you got?
Sure. My best girl's, I don't know, white, I guess. I really like the frame in the ED where she's like floating in air on her dress and there's like the flower and she puts her foot in it and there's blood because her dress mimics the flower and it's like a really cool shot composition. Her personality is mostly fun. I like her character design. She has really green eyes and she's blonde and that's nice. Um, my best boy is, I don't know, I guess Leonardo. We know the most about him. We know anything about him. He like isn't a terrible main character. He is like very neutral. Like I'd give him like a solid like 5 out of 10 maybe. Um which is really good for this show. So that's my thoughts.
Yep. All right, there you go. Has, what about you?
My best girl is Chain because she steps on Zap, and my best boy is wow, this is a hard one. I mean, I guess I could say Leo, but like that's not really a best boy. That's just like a person who exists. I'm gonna give it to um the guy. What's his name? The one that's like really lucky, but like he causes death around him.
Lucky Abrams?
Lucky
Yeah.
Abrams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Abrams, he's cool because people just die around him, and like
I thought they were gonna deal with like how he dealt with that and but they didn't.
they didn't.
No.
That I just like the fact that he walked in, someone shot a rocket, destroyed a building, and a car crashed, and he just was chilling there. Also, he is confirmation that Libra are international terrorists, not just in New York City.
Cool. There you go. All right, Johnny, what have you got? You guys are going
yeah.
much more in
So
depth than I am going to on my character thing, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, so like my best girl is also white. I feel like there's not really too many other female characters that do anything. So, and for best boy, like this one's like it's not even like best boy, it's just who did I find to be slightly interesting. I'm gonna just go ahead and say like the Chief Klaus. Like I don't know, I thought like despite his fights being like fucking stupid, they were like something to look at, I guess. And also like I like his design. He looks pretty cool. So yeah. That's all I got.
There you
Fuck
go.
the show.
All right. Pete, what have you got?
Since we like playing games, if you guys don't have Mal up, I want to play a game with you. Is for $1, can you name the Fishman's name in the show? Does anybody know?
Fishman?
Dio.
See,
No.
nobody knows who the Fishman's name is. His name is Zed. He is my best boy.
Zed.
He's my best boy. My best characters are going to be who are characters who are not even in the show for that long. So I'm giving it to Fishboy, Zed, and Shane because they're not in the show. I don't care about them because they're not in the show for that long, and that's fine because they're just whatever characters. If you're a main character, I should have some form of emotional attachment to you, or care about you, or know something about you, and we didn't get that. But we don't get that with Chain and Fishboy, and that's perfect because that matches the characters. So Fishboy and Chain are my best boy and best girl.
All right. And here's my in-depth input to this conversation. My best boy is Patrick because he has the same name as me, and there
Who
we
the fuck
go.
is Patrick?
Sure, let's go with it.
There's a character listed in Mal that I vaguely remember seeing when watching the show, and his name is
Oh,
Patrick.
that dude?
Wait, who?
He's in like one episode?
Can you describe what he looks like? Because I genuinely
No.
have no idea.
He's like me because he's big and burly, but then he has like the hair that Has used to have, like when we first started doing Anime Watch Club.
Like the guy. Oh yeah.
He's a Libra agent known as the
he was there
Armory.
for like 10 minutes in a car. It said something about Leo, even though I don't think they've ever talked to each other before that.
The plot
part,
section
but-
for him in the wiki is blank.
Yeah, nice.
That
Yeah.
sums up the show.
There you go, Patrick though, and
Fuck me.
he has arguably the best first name in anime history. So
Wow.
that's why he's my best
Is
boy.
Patrick Star an anime protagonist?
Yes.
Is
Should be.
mayonnaise an
Yes.
instrument?
Yeah.
We're asking the real questions out here tonight. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's get to our conclusion, our closing thoughts, and our conclusion to our conversation. So please, Miles, kick us off with anything that you think we missed, and your final score. I'm gonna have some fun math to do once we add
Yeah.
up these scores. It's gonna be really hard.
Yeah. So I don't like this show.
No.
Damn, really?
So like, I think a cool character that we haven't mentioned yet is the Queen of Monomania. She is not in the show a ton, but she has a fun little conversation with our main boy, telling him to like go ask the girl he likes out, and he does. So that's nice. Her design's fun. I like bows a lot. I like characters with bows. This show means nothing. It shouts into a void very loudly, and we hear the echoes of it for 12 episodes. I'm a worse person now that I have watched this show.
Yep.
And I will probably never recover completely.
Oh, did Kayla ever watch an episode of this with you?
I did not make her.
All right, good choice.
What a good fiance.
You didn't even try. It's just like from episode 1. So yeah, just don't watch.
I
Did
knew
you
like
guys-
47 seconds in that it would.
Yeah.
No, I like it when she watches anime with me, and we wouldn't want that to stop. Anyways,
That's a very good point.
I gave the show a 2. It's a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. All right, that's good. It has. What have you got?
So this show like sucks, right? I'm not sure anyone's caught that yet. This show sucks dick. Don't watch it. But I've watched a lot of garbage, right? Like that's
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I have. I
Very much
recommended
so.
it for flag breaks. I enjoyed that. I watched, Baki and Kengan Ashura. I watched Vampire Homes.
You watched Nanbaka. Oh, there's our
watched
dig. That's
Nanbaka.
our one joke that we
Got
made
it.
it this far. We got it.
God,
Non-vodka
sorry.
is much better than this show.
Nanbaka
Yeah.
is
Uh,
fantastic.
that was very well timed, Pete. You're getting
Yeah.
better.
Doing my best.
So like I had to think, like, is this worse than Sing Yesterday for me? And for those of you that don't know, Sing Yesterday for me made me quit anime for like
For a long time.
for like 3 weeks, maybe 2 months. I don't remember.
was Yeah.
This show is worse than Sing Yesterday for me. This is the worst show I've ever watched. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. I have never seen something that like makes me question the continuity of it, like frame to frame. Characters just instant transmission. Miles brought to my attention that they don't remember where they place characters in the subway, and someone just fucking teleports. Like I watched the first 8 episodes of this show about 9 times trying to connect it, and then I realized like the entire story is in the last 3 episodes. I hate this show. I hate that I watched it so much. I want to go back to reading Human Echo. I would rather watch it for Flag Breaks again. I would rather it for Flag Breaks be the only anime left on planet Earth. And I would rather read all of Prison School for the shit tier ending. This. I don't want to be here anymore. Why do I come back on the worst episodes? 1 out of 10.
Yeah. 1 out of 10. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
No, we've got a great combined score so far. Johnny, what have you got?
All right, yeah, so I have a feeling mine's gonna be the highest score, and it's not. It is not even because I like this anymore. It's just that I feel like I'm a bit nicer. The lowest show I have is a 3 out of 10 when it comes to anime, because like, so this show fucking sucks, yeah. But like, I never expected anything good out of it. For the other shows I have around the same rating, I at least expected something, some semblance of a plot, like something that I could enjoy that I didn't think was a waste of my time. This show, from minute 1, I knew like, okay, yeah, this show's going nowhere. So that's the one thing this show did, is that it didn't disappoint me in being trash. So I'm giving this a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. All right, yeah.
Aggressive.
So yeah, because if your expectations are already so low, they can't really disappoint them.
Nope.
I wish that was the case for me, but that still happened. But yeah, Pete, what have you got?
Okay, so If people didn't know, I spent $30 on a soundboard.
So I could do this.
And I also did it so I could play this. And this is how I pretty much feel about the show.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about the show. This lowered my IQ. And I don't like gatekeeping, and I try not to be elitist, but if you like this show, you should not watch anime. This show sucks ass, and you need to better yourself, watch better anime. You are a better person. Don't settle for garbage. This show sucks. So now to my score. I had to decide if this is the worst anime I have ever seen in my entire life, and it was close. It is between The Blesser of Einhar and Master of Ragnarok, Arrow Manga Sensei, and Blood Blockade Battlefront. And I came to the conclusion that this was not the worst anime I've ever seen, but it is so close. And it is not a shonen thing. This show just straight up sucks. I'm giving the show
A 2.
out of 10.
2 out of 10. All right. You saved yourself a little bit from gatekeeping at the end. I like that you added the "you are better." Believe in yourself.
Yes.
Be the you that you can be by not watching the show. And
Believe in me that believes in you. Watch better
Yes.
anime. You're better
The
than
show
this.
protagonist.
You're better than this.
Inspirational.
Kamina,
Inspiration.
good shit, Kamina. Yeah, and Roro, fight the power, fight this show, fight the writers of this fucking god awful show. All right, yeah. Again, we've already shit on this show enough. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm done with it. 2 out of 10. This is the worst show I think I've ever watched. Like, I don't think I chuckled. I don't think I ever smiled or went, "Oh, that's pretty cool," like I have in the past with other shows. This is just a straight up 2 out of 10. Like, at least it's not like, I don't know, black and white and not animated. At least there's that going for it. So
Oh,
that's
there's a
why it's not a
character
1
called
out of
Black and
10.
White.
Yeah, there is, Johnny. I
Mm.
forgot it. I don't know. The show is just so bad. It's just not fun. It's not even fun to talk about. Like, it's fun to shit on like bad shows like fucking, I don't know, Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia. Those shows that are. I'm kidding. It is fun though to talk about shows and like for flag breaks or non-baka and like at least have some fun making fun of them or having like little quips about it. This show just I don't know, man. It just exists and it's not good. It's just not good. So yeah, 2 out of 10. That adds our total score up to an 11. 11 points out of a possible 50. 50 points between the 5 of us,
Oh,
which
boy.
averages this show out to a 2.2 rating.
Oh my god.
So, Blood Blockade Battlefront is now our lowest rated show ever on Watch Club. Literally half of the score of Non-Baka, with Non-Baka being a 4.86, being our other. No, sorry, Handshakers is lower than Non-Baka. We should give Non-Baka credit. Handshakers had a 4.66. Which in perspective again is more than double.
It's like 2, yeah.
2.2 to 4.4. The Handshakers are 4.6. More than double what Blood Blockade Battlefront. Fucking big baller brand, stupid ass anime.
Yeah.
This show sucked. So let's move on to what we're watching next week. I think we're gonna be flipping our narrative going into the next week, aren't we, Miles?
We are a bit.
Hopefully.
So we voted for stuff, and stuff came in places. In third place, we have Love, Chinibio, and Other Delusions,
Ugh.
picking up its third legacy point, which I will denote now before I forget and have to re-listen to every episode in order to tally
Yeah.
the points correctly. Anyways, Drifters and Then and Here, There, Now, or whatever, tied for second. Those pick up various amounts of legacy points. And then Tatami Galaxy has finally won, so we will be watching that next week.
Yay!
Let's go.
Mm.
Romance. Let's go. All right. Cool. So we'll be watching Tatami Galaxy for our next meeting on March the 22nd. But then that means we need to nominate shows now for our meeting on the 5th of April. That would be our following episode after that. And in the spirit of the April Fool's Day, that is not the 5th of April, but closest as we can get to it, with our bi-weekly, or is it semi-weekly schedule? I don't fucking know. I can't speak
Bi-weekly is
English.
every 2 weeks, right?
No, but I would think bi-weekly would be
Semi-weekly is
twice a week.
No, bi-weekly is every 2 weeks, and semi-weekly
Oh, it
is
is twice a week.
I mean, let's look it up real quick. I could be wrong.
I don't think
Only there
it's
is a-
that big of a deal.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not a big deal. That's why I was just like, oh no, we're fucking. It's
Well,
English. Who cares?
We
But-
lost a lot of IQ points here. Let's get a few of them by learning about this.
Bi-weekly means once every 2 weeks,
I gotta run an essay. Fuck me.
or twice a week. Semi-weekly means twice a week.
Okay, so
All right.
bi-weekly.
Hey,
And
you
so
learned,
we need
you learned
bi-weekly.
something.
We are a bi-weekly club, baby. We
Happy
Alright,
International
I'm
Women's
not gonna-
Day.
I'm not gonna make it. I was gonna make a joke and I caught myself, but I'm glad Pete can take the fall for me instead.
This episode sucks.
Yeah, it really does. Thanks for listening this far.
Yeah, if you manage to get this far, in the comments, Team Edward, Team Jacob, which
Yes.
one are you?
Yeah, please tell us. But yeah, so in the spirit of of April Fool's Week, we will be nominating comedies or shows that are comedies only going into this week. So, Miles, do you have a show ready to be nominated?
Sure. So, they just used the comedy tag on Mal, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, luckily that's everything. I know Pete's seen the show. Pat maybe has seen it too, but I want to keep up the Science Saru stuff, and I'm gonna nominate "Keep Your Hands Off of Isoken."
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a funny ass show.
So, I know there's already seen. Some people have already seen it, but it's really good. So I'm gonna rely on the votes of the people who haven't seen it, who might be intrigued. So,
Really good show.
All right, there we go. I have not seen it yet, actually. That was one of the ones that slipped through the cracks last year. I think I would like it, so I'm probably gonna end up voting for it. What masterpiece of a show do you have for us this week? We already know what's coming, but I'm
Yeah,
excited.
so-
Go ahead, describe the show to us, please, too.
Oh man, I know you all love If Her Flag Breaks, one of our biggest episodes outside of YouTube, I believe.
Shockingly, one of our most popular episodes of
Right.
all time.
Now listen, man, I give the people what they want. All right,
Yeah.
I've been in the trenches of Verb, paying my $10 a month for that recommendation, dodging all the incest. Whoop, Oni-chan got keto. Whoop, fuck all of that. But then I saw something very familiar, and that was lollies with big titties that were clearly trying to be portrayed as teenagers when in fact they looked like children. So I clicked on it.
Of course you did.
Of course I did, right?
Yep, go
And
ahead.
I
Haz.
clicked on it.
you want to Google self-incrimination real quick? Like,
Yeah, plead the fifth, my
Uh,
friend. Yeah, seriously.
Anyways, so I'm not saying I clicked on it out of morbid curiosity. Disclaimer alert: it's a brand I built. I'm sorry. I moved on. I read better things, Berserk, Human Echo, but when I come here, it's a different person.
True.
So because I love, I want to give the people what they want. I want us to succeed. I clicked on it. I'm watching it, and If Her Flag Breaks did a lot. It did a lot of good things. It
No, it
showed me
didn't.
that it did. It showed me what true comedy is, and what happens if a man gets cursed with two options on a daily or random basis. Do you want to sniff this porn mag in the open of a playground, or do you want to wade
Playground.
in the dirt? And obviously you choose sniff, right? These are obvious choices here. But what if someone had to do that all the time? What if Origairu had a fourth season? What if Her Flag Breaks had a second season? And what if they were the same show? That is, my mental choices are completely interfering with my school romantic comedy. this is hands down better than any Shakespeare work. This is If Her Flag Breaks season 2. God is replaced a few times. The last god got cheated on, beat the shit out of her husband and his mistress. You get like a dog helper. There's a pressure point. It's called Smashing That Head. Helps people forget 5 minutes. There's a lot of good information here. And I can't wait to watch this because it's my birthday and I'm going to pull that card along with the fact that I suffered through this show. So
He suffered
Vote
to
for me.
make sure
Okay.
that he could nominate this show. Yes.
So this
Bruh.
show has a 7.3 on Mal, and it's top 500 in popularity, and that surprises me. Anyways,
There's a
your-
lot of hases out in the world.
Your choice is
Yeah.
denoted.
and a big moment. You're pulling the birthday card. I'll pull the birthday card too. We're voting for the show closest to my birthday, so we're not we're not gonna just let you pull that card alone. At least, but yeah.
Sure.
So Johnny, what card do you?
Yeah.
What are you playing?
What card are you
What
playing,
card-
Johnny?
what card you playing? Yeah.
Unfortunately, my birthday is a few months away, so I can't pull that card. But what I'm going to do is pull a card that this show just got announced that it was going to have a sequel after I think 8 years.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the show
Oh.
I'm nominating is The Devil is a Part-Timer.
I
And
actually
yes.
never watched it. Yeah.
I have not either.
Johnny
Well,
pulls out a
that's the
good
point of the show, isn't it?
recommendation.
That's the point of the
Topical.
Watch Club, right?
Topical. Yes. Good shit,
Yes,
Johnny.
for
That's-
once, I'm nominating a show that actually makes sense to
It's
nominate.
good.
Well, this one won, Johnny. This show that we just watched won,
Yep.
and you know what? I voted for it because I was like, "This sounds kind of fun. I bet it's going to be like a 7."
Enough of us voted for it to
Silly
watch
me.
it, so. You know, technically it's you guys' fault. I just nominated it.
Correct.
That is a
Miles'
fair
favorite
point.
anime. Miles' favorite anime is We Never Learn, so don't listen to him.
Oh dear lord.
Yeah, you eat that brownie has.
Yeah.
There's some good shit. This is Oreo. I don't know if you have it. It's great.
That sounds good. Pete, what have you got for your
All right,
nomination?
so I've nominated this show like 7 times. Has brought it up in the episode.
Now, is it also BL?
Oh
Saga?
god.
I was gonna say-
That was not it, but I think that one has a better
Don't-
chance at winning. No, I'm not.
No.
I'm gonna go with my original one just because I grabbed the manga off my bookshelf. And that is Prison School, boys. I'm nominating Prison School.
I'm not voting
Damn.
for that.
You stole my nomination. Actually, that's good.
Prison School is
Yeah.
so fucking good. It's incredible.
That's funny. I should. Damn it. All right. Now, well, I have a.
You can nominate
back-
Asobi Asobase.
No, I will not. I have no interest in that show. Sorry. It sounds terrible. No offense.
Oh my god,
Uh,
it's so good. I give it a 10.
Yeah, but all right. So yeah, so I we did this kind of last minute. This comedy decision because I was looking at the calendar and I was like, oh, April Fool's Day. That's fun, right? You know, let's have some themes, whatever, to our nominations. So yeah, now I just went to the comedy tab in comedy anime on Mal, and you know, some of my favorite comedies are up here, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, My Hero Academia,
Hilarious.
Angel Beats.
Angel Beats is a comedy of
fucking,
errors.
You know, this, but yeah, Clan Ad, you know, all of our favorite comedies, right?
Oh yeah, that one made me cry.
Yeah, well,
laughter, of
cry from
course.
laughter, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, the list goes on of all these shows that are listed as comedies, right? But one stood out to me, one that I have thought about watching in the past, but I just never got to it. I think we've talked about it, in maybe not in Watch Club, but on the podcast before. But I'm going to nominate Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches because I am curious. to
I
see
love that show.
I knew Pete
I
would like
love
it.
Yamada.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it's too bad. Unfortunately, Elfin Lied and like you stole Prison School from me again. So I had to come up with something new, something different. Even though Yuri on Ice is technically a comedy according to Mal, I could have done that. I could
There
have
are
pulled
funny
that card,
moments.
but yeah,
Elfin Lied
but
is a comedy.
yeah,
'Cause Mal's wrong.
yeah, I guess so. But yeah, no. So Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. It's from a studio that I actually like a lot too, Litten Films. They do some good stuff. They do the Cells at Work shit, and it's fun. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious about this show. It seems like it could be really fun. It also seems like it could be terrible harem trash and not fun at all. I don't know. We're gonna find. Well, we might find out 2 weeks from now. So yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our watch club. And yeah, Pete, take it away.
Yes, thank you so much. Next week, we will be previewing the next season of Seasonals. So if you want to hear me shit on My Hero Academia and talk about how Isekai, or what's that, how Not to Summon a Demon Lord Season 2 is like the third best anime we're getting next season, tune in next week, and we'll have a really fun time. Otherwise, links to our socials will be in the description if you want to join our Discord, follow us on Twitter, etc., etc. All that in our link tree. So click that link and come on, talk anime with us. Other than that, we'll see you in a week for was that spring preview. So thanks a lot, guys. Happy International Women's Day.